Okay, hi y'all. It is Wednesday, April 5th. We're gonna go over our lab duties and then demo for tomorrow's lab. Hopefully you've already answered the do now question about what are two things that you have to do before you can start cooking tomorrow. Thinking about personal preps like washing your hands, grabbing an apron, taking off jewelry, putting your hair up, that type of thing. Okay, so there are 4 jobs that we're gonna go over today, which are your lab duties. And after I go through this, you guys are gonna decide who's gonna do what job. We're going to take turns with every job. So no one is stuck with one job for every lab. We're going to switch it up every lab. Okay. So I need you to know what preheat means, which just means to heat something beforehand. So we're going to preheat our oven before we put our monkey bread in it tomorrow. All right. Here are 4 jobs. We got head chef. Head chef helps group members follow procedures, assembles the recipe, get things ready, checks that the lab area is clean and everything's put away. So they're like the last person to make sure it's all ready. They sweep and dry the floor. No wet floors, remember? And then they turn off the oven, the stove, and the lights, like the oven light. Sous chef. Sous chef is French. Sous chef is kind of like the assistant chef almost. They make sure that the oven's preheated. They set a timer and help the group with time management. So being like, okay, runner, like you have this much time to grab ingredients. They help the head chef with food prep as needed. They dry dishes and they manage the trash. So like if you have a bunch of trash, you can just use a bowl as your garbage bowl, like a metal bowl. That way you don't have to run back and forth to the trash every time you need to throw something away. Runner is like our grocery shopper. So they pick up ingredients from the demo table. That's one of their big jobs. So they really need to know how to measure accurately. They clean and wipe down all the appliances. So like the oven, the stovetop, the microwave. There's not a microwave in every kitchen, but just wipe it down if it's in yours. Put away clean dishes and equipment in their proper places. Remember, it's got to go in the right place or your grade will get dinged. And then collect dirty laundry and put it in the laundry basket. Lastly is kitchen assistant. Kitchen assistant fills the dish sink with hot soapy water. They wash dishes throughout the lab and they dry out the sink and then dry the counters and the walls. Notice that they're not drying all the dishes. They're not putting everything away, right? Dishes are everyone's responsibility. They're just washing the dishes throughout the lab. All right, so there's our 4 jobs. You guys can look at this on Canvas when you're deciding who's going to do what, so you know what your responsibilities are. Okay. These are some abbreviations, which means it's shortened. So on recipes, you don't tend to see somebody spelling out tablespoon, teaspoon, and cup. They'll put an uppercase T or a TBSP for tablespoon, and then a lowercase t or a TSP for teaspoon. A table is bigger than a teacup. So think about that: tablespoon, teaspoon. So a tablespoon is actually bigger than a teaspoon. And then, yeah. Okay. When you're measuring dry ingredients, you want to scoop more than what you need. So like making a mountain, and then you bulldoze it. So level it with the back of a knife. See, it's using the flat side of the knife and not the curved side. We want to measure accurately or else our stuff's not going to taste very good. When we're baking, we really need to measure accurately. All right. Now I'm going to put the demo video below, but I wanted to show, before I do that, I wanted to show you guys, this is the monkey bread lab plan that you all have to complete today. So every single student needs to complete it in order to cook, right? So you can find all of these answers in the recipes on your table and from watching this video. So if you don't know some of these answers, it's because you need to watch this video again. Okay, so it's front and back. And these are things that we went over in school on Tuesday. So like, where can you find clean dish towels? What drawer does silverware go in after you wash it? You grabbed stuff from those drawers yesterday. So if you need to go in your kitchen and look, you can, but then go sit back down, okay? Yeah. All right. Cute. Okay. Ready. All right, guys. It's Miss Larson, Mr. Lofsky. I sound like this, so I'm not going to be cooking because that seems unsafe. So Mr. Lofsky is going to be my hands, but I'm going to be explaining to you guys what you're actually going to be cooking tomorrow. So we're making monkey bread minis, okay? So Mr. Lofsky has already washed her hands. Her hair is up. She doesn't have any jewelry on her fingers, so she is ready to go, okay? On the directions, it says number 1, wash your hands and work surfaces. Check. Number 2, preheat the oven to 350 degrees. What the sous chef is going to do, because sous chef, you're in charge of this, is you're going to go to your oven, push bake. It should already say 350, and then you just push start. So bake and then start. And then you're going to wait for it to heat up. Number 3, grease muffin tin with non-stick cooking spray. So Ms. Orlovsky is spraying the muffin tin over the counter and not over the floor. Because if you did it over the floor, then somebody could slip, and we don't want that to happen. Okay? And you don't need a lot of cooking spray because our biscuits already have a lot of butter in them, so they're not going to stick. But it'll make it easier for us to clean later. Okay, number 4, open up the biscuits and separate them. cut each round into 8 pieces with a cutting board and a butter knife. So Miss H is stripping off the paper, and it's going to make a popping noise, and if it doesn't, oh, it did it. But if it doesn't make a popping noise, then you're going to gently tap it against the counter, and it should open up. Okay? So now we're going to dump out the biscuits, and we want to be careful not to squish our biscuits. Okay, so you're not going to cut them all at the same time because then you're going to squish them all into one. And we want lots of little pieces because it's like pull apart bread. Okay, so each biscuit we're going to be cutting into 8 pieces. All right. Today we're just using a butter knife to cut it because it doesn't need to be super sharp. Okay, so she's cutting it in half, and then that half into half, and that half into half, and it makes 8 little pieces. All right. So as these pieces are cut, she's going to put it in this metal bowl. Okay. You can have multiple students doing this. So you have 2 cutting boards per kitchen. So 1 student per cutting board, right? So you can both be cutting biscuits because I feel like that's what takes the most amount of time. And like while the runner is grabbing the rest of your ingredients, head chef and sous chef can be cutting biscuits to like make it faster. Because we want to get your monkey bread in the oven with like 20 to 25 minutes left of class, so that it has time to cool down a little bit. Maybe you can even eat it. You're not going to have to wash your muffin tin at the end of class. That's the only thing that I'm okay with being dirty, because the next class will wash it, and so on. Because it doesn't cool down in time, and I don't want any of our fingers to burn. Okay. You just keep going. Okay, all our biscuits are cut. We're now ready to make them delicious. So step number 5 says, mix white sugar and cinnamon in a mixing bowl. Toss the cut pieces of dough in with the mixture to evenly coat the pieces. So we're doing white sugar and cinnamon. So we need 1/4 cup of white sugar. So Ms. Orlovsky is taking the 1/4 cup measuring cup that has the fraction 1-4, and then she's going to take a butter knife and she's going to overfill it, okay? And then she's going to scrape off with the flat side of the knife, okay? So she makes a mountain, bulldozes it with the knife, right? Then she's going to do the same thing with cinnamon, but we need 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, okay? Teaspoons is the baby guy that says 1 TSP, okay? It's not the biggest, it's not the smallest, it says 1 TSP. So she's putting it in the spices, and the spice jar actually has a nice like flat edge that you can use to scrape off. So that's 1, and then she's gonna do 1 more. Okay, I actually, to make less dishes, use my teaspoon now to stir the cinnamon and sugar together so that it's not separated, okay? So what we're gonna do now is dump that into our biscuits and coat them all, okay? Your biscuits are gonna kind of want to stick together, so you have to be gentle with them and separate them, okay? And use your hands. Yeah, get them all. We want all of them to be coated in cinnamon and sugar because they won't taste as good if they don't get that flavor. Okay, looks beautiful. Yeah, we want them to look brown, not pale yellow. All right, good. Okay, while she finishes mixing, I'm gonna read the next step. It says number 6. Meanwhile, in a medium glass bowl, you all have these glass bowls in your kitchen, indoor deep. In your glass bowl, we are gonna melt butter and brown sugar and pumpkin spice together in the microwave in 10-second increments. So that means we're gonna put the butter, brown sugar, and pumpkin spice, microwave it for 10 seconds, stir it, and then microwave it longer if we need. We're not gonna microwave it for like 30 seconds at a time because it'll pop everywhere and no one wants to clean the microwave. I don't wanna clean the microwave, okay? So my TA has already sectioned out all the butter, so all you have to do is grab one butter chunk. Grab a butter chunk just like that, okay? Take off the wrapper, don't microwave that. I say that because it's happened before. Put it in the glass bowl, and then you're gonna take a 1/2 cup and measure the brown sugar. I think we have enough, but I put out another one in case we don't. Brown sugar is different to measure than white sugar. Brown sugar, you actually have to pack it into your cup. So you're gonna push down on it with your hand. Now, all of you should have clean hands, so it's okay to use your hand. But brown sugar is just white sugar with molasses, and so that's why we measure it differently, because it just needs to be packed down. Okay, perfect, yep. And then lastly, we need 1 tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. Tablespoon and teaspoon, very different. There are 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon, so we need 1 tablespoon. Okay, yeah, pumpkin pie. We might not have a big enough, so what we're gonna do is measure it over here, yep. So that if we spill some, we don't add too much, because if we add too much, then it might be too powerful, okay? And then we're gonna use the knife. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm gonna go well, Mr. Loss, you should touch it, not me.
Yeah.
He's gonna go microwave it for 10 seconds, and then maybe brings a spoon to stir it. You can bring the tablespoon. Okay. Butter, brown sugar, and pumpkin pie spicy mixture. It took about 30 seconds in the microwave. Okay, so she microwaved it for a little bit, stopped it, stirred it, right, and kept it going until it was melted and came all together. So now what we're gonna do, it says, using a spoon, evenly divide the butter mixture into all 12 muffin cups. So again, I don't like doing all the dishes, so I'm gonna keep using my tablespoon to make it easier on myself. Okay, so I'm gonna spoon, or Mr. Austin's gonna spoon a little bit into each cup. And I would just try to evenly divide it. If you overfill some of them, you're gonna have to scrape from the other ones to fill all of them, okay? As she does that, once the brown sugar mixture is gonna create this like caramelized, like ooey gooiness that when you flip the monkey bread over, that's what's on top of it, and it goes on all of the muffins. So we really want that mixture part. And then, okay, what does it say? Evenly divide the sugar-coated dough pieces between the 12 muffin cups. It says you don't need to count, just estimate. Okay, well, if you're like me and you're like, no, I want to count, it's between 5 to 6 pieces. Okay, so every muffin cup should have between 5 to 6 pieces of muffin. Okay, so here I'm just gonna show. You can't even see it. It's fine.
You can see it.
So now Mr. Lasky's gonna put 5 to 6 pieces in each muffin cup, and we're gonna bake it for 13 to 15 minutes, or until it's golden brown on top. Okay. I want you all to like ask each other if you think it's done before you call me over. Like use your group, okay? Once you get all this done, like this in the oven, I want you to start doing dishes right away. Your kitchen assistant should have already started the hot tub of water, but remember, it's not just the kitchen assistant who cleans. Every single person cleans, okay? Someone's sweeping the floor. Someone's drying the dishes. Someone's putting the dishes away. The only cleaning the kitchen assistant is doing is actually physically washing the dishes. Other than that, everyone else is helping in all the steps. So I don't want to see anyone sitting down at their table and being like, well, it's not my job, right? We're all going to help each other out. Okay, so now they look beautiful. Perfect. All right, so we're going to bake these in the oven. You guys are going to get to eat it tomorrow. And have a good day. Bye.
Cute.